Good evening, everybody. I'm Josh Little. I am head of ACUMEN Media, which is the media law department of ACUMEN Business Law. Now, I think someone's having a laugh here tonight because they've given me the slot immediately before Frank Skinner and said go up there and talk to them about the law. So bear with me, I'll try and make this as painless as possible. Now, I'm aware that many of you here tonight are creative professionals. And by that I don't mean that you are bankers or accountants that have a bit of talent with a paintbrush, but that you are people that are working in the creative industries and are successful in those creative industries. So I just want to talk about a couple of areas tonight that I think are going to be of interest to you: defamation and copyright. Now, defamation really should be a fundamental consideration for anybody that's working in fields such as comedy, like Frank, or journalism, like Barry, so I hope they're listening here. So what is it? Defamation is when you make a statement about somebody else in public, where that statement has the effect of a negative impact, giving the public a negative impression of someone. The classic example that you all be familiar with is where a newspaper publishes a story about a naughty footballer. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be as simple as me logging onto Twitter and making a derogatory comment about somebody without any grounds to do so. The important thing you should know about defamation is that in this country we have something known as the multiple publication rule. So, for instance, if I was to write an article in a newspaper which was defamatory, then obviously I could be sued for that. If that same article was then to appear on the newspaper's website, I could be sued again. And if I was to tweet about the article, then I could be sued again for that. So you can see from one story, I could potentially land myself in a lot of trouble. Now, just as way of sort of giving you an idea of how much money can be involved in a defamation claim, there was an absolutely classic case which happened in Ireland, where a gentleman by the name of Donal Kinsella, who was an executive for an Irish mining company. Now, he went on a business trip with a female colleague, and one night on this business trip, he was found sleepwalking in his female colleague's bedroom. Yeah, I know you think that's pretty strange. Let me also tell you, when he was found, he was completely naked. Now, the problem came about when his ex-employer, well, he didn't stay in that job very long, as you can imagine, and the problem came out when his ex-employer made a statement about what had happened. And in that statement, they implied that something saucy had gone on between him and his colleague. He took offence to that, and he sued the company. Now, in assessing how much damages should be paid to him, the Irish court considered that it should be 10 million euros. 10 million euros for essentially implying that he'd done something saucy with a colleague. So, it just goes to show how potentially costly defamation can be, and really just, be a bit careful when you're writing or saying anything in public. So that's defamation. Very quickly, copyright. For all of you that are creative professionals, this is, again, fundamentally important because it's how you're going to make your living. Just two things to remember, really. Copyright exists automatically as soon as you create a drawing, a piece of writing, take a photograph. If I had £1 for every time someone asked me, how do I register my copyright, I'd be a very wealthy man right now. You don't need to register it. It exists automatically when you create something. It's yours. Once you've created it, you own it. Second thing about copyright is that it's essentially a bundle of rights. So if I write some lyrics, I'm the copyright owner of those lyrics. If somebody puts some music to those lyrics, then they're the copyright owner in that music. And if somebody does a recording of the song, then they own the copyright in the recording of the song. So for what is essentially one piece of work, you could have multiple copyright holders. So just for you, when you're in business, keep that in consideration. If you're working with someone else, bear in mind that you could potentially both be copyright holders in one piece of work. Just to finish on a quick case about copyright, this is a case in Australia involving the Australian band Men at Work. They had a hit single with Down Under. Now, in this song, they got hit with a massive legal bill in this song when an Australian court said that the flute riff, a one-line flute riff which they used in their song, infringed another song. Now, this other song that it infringed was actually a song written in 1935 for the Australian Girl Guides. Never commercially released, and by the time that the case came to court, the writer was dead. That being said, the court issued them with a fine, which was a six-figure sum, for copying one line of a song. So, you know, again, very costly if you get it wrong. So just to sum up, really, copyright, three things. Know what your rights are. Be vigilant to other people copying your work, and know that copyright exists automatically, no registration. So I won't keep it any longer. There's a couple of people asleep down there, so I'll, sorry. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Briggy, thanks very much.